They broke into my house at midnight, dragged my son out of his own bed, and called it HOA enforcement. 3 men in blue jackets, one pressing Jason face down, another holding zip ties like he was about to ship him off as cargo, the third blocking the door with a baton. And when I found the paper in his pocket, my son's ID stamped with the words, "Asset Transfer Approved." I knew this wasn't just harassment. They were really going to take him. My name's John Stratton. I'm a retired Navy SEAL, or at least I thought I was retired. After the teams, I promised my wife Sarah we'd settle down somewhere quiet, safe, where our boy could grow up normal. Willow Glen was supposed to be that place. The lawns, all perfect mailboxes lined up straight, everyone waving like Stepford neighbors. And at the center of it all was Karen Whitmore, the HOA president queen of the cul-de-sac pearls and sweater stainless steel tumbler glued to her hand like it was a crown. At first, her power was just annoying. She slapped us with fines for dumb things: Jason's bike on the grass garage door open too long, trash can left half an inch off the curb. I rolled my eyes, paid when I had to ignore the rest. But then Karen crossed a line. That night, when I heard Jason scream, I went from half-asleep father to combat mode in a heartbeat. Training never leaves you. I tore down the hall saw to 3 strangers manhandling my son like he was a criminal, and I didn't hesitate. One strike one, throw another elbow muscle memory. Seconds later, all 3 of them were writhing on my floor wrists, zip-tied with their own gear. Jason clutched my arm, shaking. And outside, across the street, under the glow of the lamppost, stood Karen. Calm as ever, smiling, sipping her drink, recording the whole damn thing like she was watching a show she directed. The next morning, taped to my door, was a violation notice. Visual disruption bike on grass, a $75 fine, and in gray print at the bottom, persistent non-compliance may trigger compliance monitoring. Monitoring. That word chilled me more than the men in my house, because it wasn't random, it wasn't a prank. They had paperwork, Jason's school ID, official stamps. This was organized, and Karen was feeding it. Jason barely ate his cereal that morning. He whispered, "They'll come back, won't they?" And I couldn't answer. Sarah paced the kitchen pail, biting her lip until it bled. Finally, she turned on me. "You promised me, John. You promised when you left the Navy that you'd bury the violence. Now it's in our house." That cut deeper than any blade. Because she wasn't wrong. I saw it in Jason's eyes, too, that flicker of doubt. Was he really safe with me? Or was I the reason they targeted us? More notices piled up on the door. Trash bins, garage door, lawn height. Each one with that line about compliance monitoring. Jason said it flat. "They're building a case." Sarah slammed her hand on the table. "Don't you see? They want you to snap. That's their play." And for one long night, I almost believed her. Maybe the problem wasn't Karen or the HOA. Maybe it was me, too volatile, too broken from the war to give my son a normal life. Maybe I should just let go, let the system handle it. That's when Nate showed up. My old spotter, now a hacker instead of a sniper. He barged in with a Red Bull and a flash drive like it was contraband. Technically legal. Dum-dum, morally questionable, maybe. Necessary? Hell, yes. He slammed it into his laptop, and there it was. Project Dove Willow Glen. Hundreds of family files. Kids' faces circled in red. Stability ratings, monitoring reports. And right there on the screen, Jason. Subject ID 742A. Risk flagged. "They're not just writing you tickets," Nate said. "They're cataloging you, testing families like lab rats. Karen's just their star witness." The pit in my stomach dropped into steel. This wasn't paranoia. It was proof. But even with proof, Sarah looked at me like the enemy. "Is this happening because of you?" "Because of your record. I had no answer." Jason's voice cracked from across the room. "They think I'm not safe here. Because of you. That shattered me. I wanted to disappear. But then, Nate showed me more files, 32 other families flagged the same way, all with kids, all with parents marked unfit. Jason leaned in, eyes wide. "It's not just us." That was the moment the switch flipped. I wasn't fighting for just my boy anymore. I was fighting for all of them. But Karen wasn't done. She baited me in her garden trimming roses that didn't need trimming humming like she owned the block. I confronted her. "You flagged my son." She smiled, sweet as syrup. "I don't flag anyone. I just observe." She pulled an envelope from her apron pocket stamped with a strange logo. "Family Oversight Division. Came to my house by mistake." I didn't take it at first, but she pushed it into my hand like a poisoned gift. "You're spiraling, John. Jason doesn't need chaos. Let the system do its work." She said it like she cared, and that made it worse. Days later, Jason was lured outside by a fake text. Black SUV waiting. 2 men dragging him toward it. I moved fast, faster than thought, and I broke them every strike, fueled by pure terror. We found the manifest in their car, Jason's ID scheduled transfer. This time, neighbors saw it. Cops saw it. And Karen stepped forward, pearls gleaming, still smirking. "You always make things worse, John. This could have been peaceful." But Jason, my boy, snapped. He shouted at her in front of everyone. "You think this is protecting me? You sent them to take me." The neighbors shifted. Cameras rolled. And for the first time I saw Karen's smile falter. That night, Nate dumped the files online. Emails, reports Karen's voice memo, her infamous phrase, "Proceed. Keep it clean." By morning, every news channel had it. The HOA wasn't just a petty suburban club, it was the front line of a corporate experiment turning compliance into control neighbors into informants. Willow Glen exploded with outrage, and Karen, the untouchable queen of the block, was dragged from her throne. I watched her as officers led her away, still clutching that tumbler like it could save her, still trying to keep her smile steady. But behind her eyes was fear, the real kind, the kind you can't mask. She'd lost. Not in a boardroom, not with fines or notices, but right here in the street she thought she owned. I didn't cheer, didn't celebrate. I just stood there, Jason's hand gripping mine, both of us breathing the same night air knowing we had survived. And as they shoved Karen into the cruiser, I realized something: she wasn't just a bad neighbor. She was the mask for a machine that almost took everything from us. The lesson: power unchallenged becomes tyranny. And sometimes the only way to protect your family is to fight the fight no one else will.